Next on UBC, brought to you by Airtel, the smartphone network.
Happy New Year to you watching UBC TV. Welcome once again to our second edition of News Tonight. Let's have a look at the headlines as we start. President Yoweri Museveni commends Ntungamo Christians for unity. Kabale NRM endorses Museveni's sole candidature. Furtherfield survives lynching in Uyikwe, while Namibia to host African Netball Championship. Yes, it's news tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomo. I'm with Muhammad Mugalu, our sign language interpreter. President Yoweri Museveni has hailed the people of Ntungamo district in southwestern Uganda for being united despite the different religious affiliation among them, also for the new wake-up amongst them to fight against household poverty through practicing commercial agriculture. The president made the remarks today at the Sacred Heart in Ntungamo Catholic Church, where he and the First Lady Janet Museveni joined Christians to celebrate Mass to thank God for entering the new year 2020. Museveni also commended the people of the area for building a magnificent church and particularly thanked the parish priest Reverend Father John Baptist Tumusime for showing followers the way to eradicate poverty in their houses.
As we start the new year 2020, some people thought it wise to begin the year in prayer. In Ntungamo district, Christians of Sacred Heart Ntungamo Catholic Church were graced by the presence of President Yoweri Museveni and the First Lady, who is also the Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni. The President hailed the people of Ntungamo district for being united despite having different religious affiliations and also for fighting against household poverty through practicing commercial farming.
Atunga mubuganza muzare mukanye mwijureze hati ranga yatiyimwe tumuri bitiyokori mwirogwenge mbasa kwehingira ibikuriye byanyu kongo shaka umuntu ayinesha kashiwesha kandi agaya ubushoborozi okukora ibikorera kushana n'ibihanga kandi iki cyabe na misa aho
He commended the people of the area for building a magnificent church and the parish priest, Reverend Father John Baptist Sime, for showing followers the way to eradicate poverty. The president further advised the people of Ntungamo district against consumption of alcohol and promiscuity. He informed the congregation that government is to fund several savings and cooperative credit organizations, SACCOs, in each district in Uganda. He also assured them of government's determination to fight and eradicate corruption in the country. While officiating at the opening ceremony of the specialized Raphael Children's Clinic that has been established by the Catholic Church, Mr. Museveni donated 100 million shillings. He also gave the Christian Circle 30 million shillings, while the Yellow Women's Group received 20 million shillings. The Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, commended the people of her area for the love they always have for the President. She congratulated them upon concluding the year 2019 and wished them a prosperous 2020.
Nimbasiima lwakundo yanyu imutoleka obutosha etushanga ntungamo kandi nimbashabira ngu Mukama bampeera omugisha buzima.
The main celebrant of the Mass, Reverend Father John Baptist Tusime, in the homily urged the congregation to uphold the message by Pope Francis to make the new year 2020 a period of prayer for peace. He commended President Museveni for being knowledgeable on Bible issues and the First Lady for always being prayerful. Father Tusime wished the people of Ntungamo in particular and Uganda in general a happy and prosperous new year. Happy New Year. Prisla Namara, UBC News.
Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda has commended Kigezi sub-region leaders for exhibiting unity and ensuring better livelihoods for their communities. Rugunda was speaking at the just concluded Greater Kabale District's National Resistance Movement Delegates Conference held at Kigezi College, Butobere in Kabale Municipality. The delegates hailed from Rubanda, Ruchiga and Kabale districts.
The Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, has asked political leaders across the country to mobilize their communities intensively for enhancement of government programs for quality service delivery. He was officiating Greater Kabale District NRM Delegates Conference, also addressed by NRM Treasurer Rose Namayanja, the NRM Women National League Chairperson Lydia Wanyoto, among other leaders.
When leaders take time, study, discuss, agree on the way forward, it clears the direction, they have a clear strategy, they are able to convey to the population one message as agreed, and this helps to unite the population, to make them focused and push the country forward. So,
the Prime Minister said ideas generated at the conference will augment enhancement of unity and development in the sub-region.
We have been able now to have new roads, we have had new electricity dams, and Uganda today, which was a laughing stock, is a country which has a positive balance of trade. It's a country that is now industrializing. You have seen the President of Uganda opening industries, several industries in a week, and this trend is going to continue because investors were prohibited from coming before because of lack of power.
The Minister of State for Planning, David Bahati, urged residents to welcome the proposed plan to elevate Kabale municipality to a city status by 2023.
The most important thing is that when Kabale becomes a city, there are quite a number of things that actually will gain, because the tourism potential of the district is very massive. Kabale is connected to Kigali. Kabale is connected to DRC Congo. We have a lot of potential for iron ore. We are setting up an industry, a factory in Rwanda for iron ore. If the standard gauge railway will be coming to collect this iron ore, and we have other road networks, we think that this city will be a center of tourism, will be strategically positioned at the border of two countries, and will actually make a greater contribution.
He said the main challenge in the Kabale region as of now is socio-economic transformation, where over 70% of the households are living on subsistence economy.
So the land is not expanding, the population is increasing, and the only way to help this community is through industrialization. And urbanization is one of those factors that actually trigger industrialization.
Bahati was later collectively elected Kabale NRM chairperson following a motion moved by the Kabale District Youth Chairperson Sheikh Kasim Kamujisha and supported by NRM delegates from Ruchiga, Rwanda and Kabale districts.
Pate Kabale Honorable David Bahati atutiyarinjire kurungi yatwara umisho kurungi anopoze
The Kabale NRM Delegates Conference was held at the Gezi College Butabere Playgrounds and addressed by leaders from Ruchiga, Rwanda and Kabale districts.
Nti mukulonda kwa LC elections NRM yawangula 87%, 87.6% of ebifo byonna ebya LC abawangula bali NRM. Independence bebaddako 9.9%.
Almana Deu and Anyine Fred reporting for UBC News, Kabare.
State Minister for Higher Education Dr. Jesse Muyingo has cautioned the youth against being used by some politicians. The minister made the remarks at the closure of the academic year for Bamananika Constituency Development Fund, an arrangement that sponsors students in the constituency.
The State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. J.C. Muyingo, is worried about the youth's involvement in uncalled-for demonstrations. This follows the violent demonstrations in Chichusa Town Council protesting bad roads leading to the death of one person. Dr. J.C. Muyingo has therefore advised the youth to settle disagreements and grievances through the non-violent legal means. He also advised them to appreciate and tap into government's development and projects brought to the area.
Tuyige ekigambo kye bayita okusiima, tusiime gavumenti, tusiime President Museveni, kubanga omwaka guno ffe ab'Emulanika ne Luweero gavumenti yetusoosoowazza nnyo.
This was at Kakola High School in Bumunanika, Luweero District, during the closing of the academic year of Bumunanika Constituency Development Fund, where over 500 learners attended the function. The minister highlighted that 2020 came with an increment in bursaries, but warned that only those to study in government schools would benefit. The principal of Katonga Technical Institute in Mpigi District, Moambo John Ronald, decried the negative attitude of parents towards enrolling children into vocational institutes.
A lot of work to do to change their attitude towards technical education. People think that somebody to go for technical education must have failed. So we normally get people, we get students who have not performed well, but still we mold them, we give them the skills so that they are able to perform and they become performers.
Moambo further added that in the efforts to increase the numbers of students joining technical institutes in Bumunanika, bursaries were increased from 40 to 90 and urged parents to encourage their children to love vocational skills to fight unemployment. Fred Kasibante for UBC News.
Ugandans have been urged to be tolerant as the country goes into the next general elections of 2021. Former Katikkiro of Buganda, Joseph Mulwanya Mulise Mogerere, wants Ugandan politicians to emulate their counterparts in Kenya in promoting harmony despite political differences. This was said during the New Year's Day prayers at Rubaga Cathedral, presided over by the Papal Nuncio to Uganda, Luigi Bianco, who urged Ugandans to embrace peace.
The minister of Foreign Affairs, Uganda, Dr. Namibia, has said that the Uganda government will continue to support the peaceful
2020 is here, and this congregation is anxiously waiting for the annual New Year's Day prayers here at Lubaga Cathedral in Kampala. That the new year brings both opportunities and challenges is one fact, which the cathedral leadership recognizes as the procession walks in. It is the reason why prayer is necessary.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
To appreciate both trials and chances.
Let us be prayerful. Be prayerful. Be peaceful.
This message by Archbishop Cyprian Kizito Lwanga is timely, going by the fact that Uganda prepares for general elections scheduled for next year, 2021.
We have entered a year where we have nominations of our political leaders and the campaigns will start this year. I request you to be peaceful, to choose the right people who are full of the light and the salt of the earth, and who will deliver for the mutual good of everybody. Nasanyuse nnyo bwe nalabye ekyabadde e Kenya, simanyi oba nammwe mwakirabye ku social media. Owekitiibwa ennyo Pulezidenti wa Kenya Uhuru yayise muganda we Raila Odinga, n'ayita muganda we Ruto, n'ayita muganda we Kalonzo Musyoka, bonna ne bagwangana mu bifuba, buli omu ne yeetondera munne olw'ebigambo ebisongovu bye baayogera mu kulonda, era ne balayira nti kikafuuwe omuntu yenna oba munnakenya yenna okuddamu okufiira mu by'okulonda. Ekyo nange kyensaba mu linnya ly'obwakabaka bwa Buganda ne mu linnya lyammwe.
It is for similar reasons that peace as a virtue has been emphasized to overcome societal challenges.
On this World Day of Peace, we especially implore her intercession that the Lord may grant peace in our day, peace in hearts, peace in families, peace among the nations.
Quite inspiring and progressive messages that Ugandans need to encode with keenness. Tolerance, reconciliation and Christian living have also been emphasized as essential, especially among political players. Henry Okurut, UBC.
At Namibia Cathedral, politicians and Christians have been urged not to sell their properties with the aim of participating in the coming elections. Archbishop Ntagali stressed on the issue of the increasing cases of defilement in the country, not leaving out the problem of land grabbing and human trafficking. This was communicated by the Archbishop of Uganda, His Grace Stanley Ntagali, during the first service of the year 2020 at St. Paul's Cathedral in Namibia.
Know that leadership comes from God. Don't get engaged in debts from the bank or sell your land to go to politics. We must say no to the commercialization of politics in our country. So that they can represent us and present the issues in parliament and be the people's representative. The issue of defilement is rampant. Who are those defiling our girl children? It's a great evil. Those companies that are specialized in doing that. So our country is one of the countries in Africa that has a high rate of human trafficking. Please continue to pray for the Archbishop-elect and Mama Margaret Kazimba. But pray for the Farewell and Enthronement Organizing Committee, chaired by Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa and deputized by Honorable General Edward Katumba Wamala.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Drivers and pedestrians share the same responsibility of keeping themselves and others safe. Your eyes and ears are your best safety tools. Avoid using electronic devices that distract your attention. Stay on sidewalks. If there is no footpath, walk on the edge of the road facing oncoming traffic. At a road crossing, stop, look both ways, listen, and then cross. And please, never play in or near roads. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's roads safer.
The first edition of News Tonight 2020. Owinyi Patrick, a 35-year-old man, has survived being lynched by an angry mob of Chiriowa village in Njeru municipality, Buyikwet district. This followed the rape and murder of Mbabazi Farida, a 9-year-old girl of this same village.
Angry residents of Chiriowa village this afternoon went to bush searching for this little girl Farida, whose body was found dumped in the bush with suspected signs of defilement. Residents contacted the police, who swung into action by the help of sniffer dogs that led them to the house of the suspected defiler, Owinyi Patrick. Owinyi, who apparently was found hiding in his house, refused to open when asked to do so. The angry residents decided to smoke Owinyi out of the house by putting it on fire. But all was in vain. So, police broke into the house and dragged him out. According to the mother of the deceased, Batu Karehema, she sent her daughter to the grocery to buy tomatoes when the tragedy befell her. It was rather an uphill task for the police to rescue the suspect from the angry mob as they tried to snatch and lynch him.
Mbubali mukunonyeza kyoko kutagwera kwate omuntu tebalina kyankola amala banga kimugavayo tujibwate omuntu obaba tebamuteka kalaba nafa ne ripoti tetujifuna banonyereza terigwa ebyokunonyereza lwaki.
Residents of Ntenjeru Chisoga Town Council still in Mukono woke up to sad news of the death of their colleague identified as John Chiza, who is alleged to have drowned in a fish pond. The deceased had gone to celebrate the festive season with family.
The body of John Kiza was found floating on water, and it is alleged that he could have drowned last evening. Residents say many revelers frequent this place to buy fish, with some taking an extra mile of fishing. Eyewitnesses say there are over 5 ponds in the place, and the deceased was spotted fishing in one of the ponds.
Era ne baafu weeri ng'eraga nti basomba ebyennyanja okubijja mu kidiba kino babize mu ebyennyanja ebikuzeekuzeemu.
They attributed Kiza's death to poor supervision of the fishing ponds by owners.
Tumanyi mbeera oba basuddeyo mu ssuuli oba yaguddeyo eka omwaka guno kubanga tumaliriza omwaka guno embeera efaanagana bweti tufunye nnyo okunyolwa kw'amaanyi ng'ago banakaza tamulabye ng'afa onkakasa otya nti munda mwafiiriddemu omuntu ekitali kyennyanja nti kyafudde ne kidda ku ngulu. Nze nagenza otuuka ku kinnyanga tewali kiraga amazima gennyini kitegeeza omwana yafudde balaba ne balemererwa entaasaamu gye bamutaasaamu ne bazzaawo ekitimba ne badduka ne bajja ffe batuyite ffe bananyini mwana.
However, some of the residents attributed the death to drunkenness.
Tukubiriza abantu nti ebifo ebisanyukirwamu twewale nnyo okuba nga tugenda mu mazzi ate nga tuba tunyweddemuuko.
The family members of the deceased said there is need for police to do thorough investigations on what could have led to the death of their child.
Nenda fa okituleeteramu okwekengera nti oba omuntu waffe baatuze mutugere ne bakola ki ne bamusuulayo lwaki beebuzaabuzanga n'ekiro bannannyini mufu twazze ne bagaana okukola ki okutugulira.
Mobiru Ismail, a councillor, advocated for more security measures around the fishing ponds and putting restrictions on drunken revelers.
Babaddewo okubonaganya ekidiba kino kyetaaga kibeereko kageeti kibe nga kikola nga kisibwa omuntu yenna ngeno bwe bakifensinga eno bwe bateekako kageeti n'okisiba yali bali tasobola kuvaayo n'akola ki n'ajja n'agenda n'agwamu.
The body of the deceased was taken to Mulago Referral Hospital for post-mortem.
The cultural leader of the Tienga Dola Cultural Institution, His Highness Moses Owori, has warned his subjects against early drinking and domestic violence that have left many families broken. Tienga Dola's New Year message comes at a time when the district is experiencing a high rate of domestic violence, including the outcast of women who fail to give birth to a male child.
Drinking in most sub-counties of Tororo start as early as 11 a.m. Majority of the parents addicted to this vice fail to even provide scholastic materials for their school-going children. While delivering a New Year message, His Highness Moses Owori, the cultural leader of the Japadola, condemned the act, asking the law enforcement officers to intervene and stop the vice.
People who indulge in drinking, especially in the early hours, should be discouraged. If possible, action should be taken.
Tengadola is also concerned about the continued gambling by the youth, appealing to them to redirect their energies in some other meaningful ventures and take advantage of the conducive environment put by government.
We ask all authorities to be vigilant on this and be strict to ensure that in the villages or other areas where these young people engage in gambling are detected and dismantled.
Tengadola was delivering his New Year message at the palace in Nyangole within Tororo municipality.
Thousands of born-again Christians thronged Canaan land to attend New Year prayers. Pastor Aloysius Bujingo said that 2020 is a year of divine opportunities for Christians.
Fireworks and jubilations were visible in and around Kampala as thousands of people welcomed the New Year 2020. Security personnel deployed around worshipping areas gave people attending the New Year 2020 prayers confidence to carry on with their prayers peacefully. The convener of the Night Vision Festival at the House of Prayers Ministry, Pastor Aloysius Bujingo, prayed for unity, peace, tranquility, stability, and reconciliation among Ugandans and neighboring countries.
Emirembe gya Uganda ne Rwanda giberewo mu linnya lya Yesu. Emirembe gya Uganda ne Sudan giberewo mu linnya lya Yesu. Emirembe gya Uganda ne Kenya giberewo mu linnya lya Yesu. Emirembe gya Uganda ne Tanzania giberewo mu linnya lya Yesu. Emirembe gya Uganda ne region yonna giberewo. Abaganda balugera nti omuliraano gwokya bbiri. Tetwagala bizibu ku miriraano ne waffe tetwagalayo bizibu.
Pastor Bujingo prayed for Ugandans, especially the youth, to work hard for progress and head the NRM government for the prevailing peace and freedom of worship across the country.
A greater Uganda conducively for our business. A greater Uganda with a conducive environment for our gospel. A greater Uganda for salvation.
This is the 5th time House of Prayer Ministries hosts overnight Vision New Year prayers. Other end-of-year prayers were held at various designated worshipping places, including Good Kampala, Rubaga, Namirembe, All Saints Church, and Christ the King, among other worshipping places. Hamana Deo and Muganga Henry reporting for UBC News.
Meanwhile, as millions of Ugandans joined the rest of the world to usher into the new year, religious leaders in Manafwa district took the opportunity to denounce government's proposal to fix a minimum qualification for one to become a pastor. We have this from that side as well.
By 8 p.m., thousands of Christians had gathered at Butiru Model Secondary School field in Manafa district to give praise to God for the new year. Emotionally captured Christians were witnessed engaged in deep prayers as some could not hold back shedding tears as the clock ticked down into the new year. At last, the long-awaited time finally arrived amidst jubilations. It is here that Apostle Fred Namoka condemned government's move to fix a minimum qualification for one to become.
Love your enemies.
I know that when God has chosen someone, He doesn't look at his qualification, but He just look at the soul. So that means that for me, I fight spiritual, but not physical.
He argues that the idea cannot work since being a religious leader is spiritual and not man-made, asking government to treat pastoral work as God's calling. However, two Christians who turned up for prayers took the day to take us through their achievements and expectations for the new year.
Entambule nabeera nungi ejatwanguira era emirimu tusuubira mingi kuba tufunye oluguudo n'amasanyalaze kati byemu byetulwanira nti that is one of the issues that have been burning us the youths.
I'm expecting very many things like promotion at the job where I am right now. I know obviously it is already there.
Suubira omwaka kuno nange ngole n'amaanyi ate fune n'amaanyi n'okutambula ne Katonda.
In Tororo, most pastors spent the hour cautioning Ugandans against hate speech as the country heads to elections. Addressing worshippers at King George Stadium, Pastor Julius Siga appealed to Christians to respect each other, since even after elections, they will coexist.
Katonda tamanyi nkyukakyuka z'abantu so n'obubaka bwe mbawa bubeeremu okuteesa bubeeremu okuwuliziganya n'okulaba nti tuwagira enkyukakyuka zonna ezibeerawo mu bulungi nga tuwa eddembe abantu okwesalirawo.
Yes. Other places of worship also had prayers as people ushered into the new year. Our reporter Onyango visited a number of them.
In developing countries, according to the United Nations Development Programme, funds lost to corruption are estimated at 10 times the amount of official development assistance. Corruption is a big threat to the country's economy and service delivery. However, society has largely accepted it as a way of life at all levels. during the 31st over-the-night prayer at Rubaga Miracle Center Cathedral. The head of Anti-Corruption Unit, Lieutenant Colonel Edith Nakalima, wants Pentecostal churches to gear up the effort in the fight against corruption.
The work we are doing is done by your prayers. Just like the Bible says in Isaiah 62 that do not keep quiet. Pray until the Lord establishes the country Uganda.
She said that most people who engage in such dubious activities are Christians who attend church, yet stealing is a sin in the presence of God. She advised Ugandans to ensure that Uganda is a corruption-free country. She urged those who engage in corruption to repent before being jailed.
The corrupt are going to quit this country. They're not going to stay here. Those that have not repented, we are warning them and we want to give them a last chance to repent, otherwise they are going to jail.
Pastor Robert and Jessica Kayanja of Rubaga Miracle Cathedral, who applauded her role in the fight against corruption, said, through fasting and prayer, the enemies of Uganda, including corruption, will be crushed by the power of God.
Enter the gates of 2020. We are walking in to possess those gates. The enemy will not hold those gates. The enemy will not seize those gates.
He prophesied that 2020 is a year for Uganda to invest heavily in 5 aspects, including innovation and agriculture.
It's a year of divine provision. As Ugandans, God has given us a chance to invest in 5 things: agriculture, innovation, ICT. We must see ourselves in spirituality.
At the church, thousands ushered in the new year 2020 with mobile phone lights and fireworks explodes.
At Triple Blessing Church in Namlanda, it was almost the same situation as our reporters got and captured prayers.
It was a moment of joy and celebration at Triple Blessing Church as Christians gathered to thank the Almighty for what they have achieved in 2019. The end of year celebration was punctuated with fireworks, and pastors from America left Christians in praise and honor of the Almighty. Pastor David Mukisa urged Ugandans to respect the gift of life and live responsibly in order to fulfill their pledges to God. Pastor Ronald Robinson from America was mesmerized by the attitude of Ugandans towards God. He urged Christians never to be used by self-seekers and that they should focus on serving the Almighty for them to enter the kingdom of God.
So God is sending you to be able to give the kingdom to others. And there will be people who bless you.
In another development, Christians of Wuzi Christian Life Church urged religious leaders to help the underprivileged rather than milking the flock.
Today as a church, the Lord has spoken to us that He's going to do things of kindness towards us that will cause us to understand the things that God wants us to possess. And when God reveals to you what you're supposed to possess, you're supposed to work hard to receive that which God has purposed for you.
Patricia Nakandwe compiled this report.
Yes, now as others celebrated the year in church, ushered into 2020 in church, other Ugandans were celebrating elsewhere. At Fusion, New Year was celebrated with dance, drinks and merrymaking, as we see in this report.
Fusion Autospa Munyonyo has put nothing to chance to ensure revelers get money's worth as they ushered in a new year 2020. The atmosphere was electric, especially during the fireworks display that found partygoers in the perfect mood to say bye-bye to 2019 and welcome 2020 that starts a new decade. But though it was party after party for most, it was punctuated by messages of goodwill to Ugandans, notably about politics, which may be heated this year.
We are going to encourage people to drink, spend, enjoy, but also enjoy productively. We don't want people to get involved in unnecessary activities which may be prejudicial to their good living. We don't want people to live recklessly. We want people to be useful in society. Don't over-engage yourselves in actions that may be construed to mean dissent. If you are against the government, be obedient to the one which is in power until the one you want comes into power.
Semogerere took a swipe at loose talkers that spend a valuable time that they would otherwise invest in, say, agriculture, which is likely to improve as a mainstay for Uganda as the country embarks on middle income status.
Let's limit talking. Let's work hard. Loose talk is not developmental. Too many people talk and they pretend like they know you too much. They know your business in and out when they know nothing. And they waste their time. You find them arguing who is richer, who is growing, who is dropping, and that is not productive at all. So we are saying, come 2020, let us move from that type. Let us look for productive friends. Let us not look for friends who are chatterboxes. Let us look for friends who add value to our lives. And keep low, but most importantly, engage yourselves in productive activities, especially investment in agriculture.
Ugandans were advised to invest in their country through tourism, which is available even in urban centers and may even be much better and cheaper than elsewhere on the globe.
That they shouldn't go to Dubai, go to any country that is not Uganda, because we have everything in place that you go to tour around in other countries. We have the best fountain so far. It's the best in Uganda. It changes colors, the water goes up and down, very nice. So there's no need of you going to Dubai to look for something else that we have in Uganda.
From us at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation TV, the promise over the next decade is continued service that Ugandans benefit from information, education, and entertainment.
The night that was in church, bars, and wherever. Happy New Year. Moving on to sports news, the Uganda Netball Federation has confirmed participation in the 2020 African Netball Championships that will be hosted by Namibia at the yet-to-be confirmed date. Uganda, that had hitherto won the title twice, lost its grip last year when the She Cranes finished third during a tournament hosted and won by South Africa. Uganda Netball Federation publicist Wilberforce Mutete says that the executive will meet this month to draft a roadmap for the team with sights on achieving success. He also confirmed that Uganda will send representation at the World Under-21 Netball World Youth Cup to be hosted by Fiji. In order to ensure Uganda stands bigger chances of being there, Uganda Netball Federation is in advanced stages of winning hosting rights for the Africa regional qualifiers. With time constraints likely to affect preparations for the Fiji tournament, Mutete says they already have a team in place that they picked from various schools' competitions in 2019. For the African Championship, Uganda Netball Federation is certain to use players that will shine in the league that they expect to start early.
Keep that on.
Yes, at this point we'll look at the weather forecast to know what will happen tomorrow as far as weather is concerned.
Good evening once again. I welcome you to today's weather broadcast brought to you by Uganda National Meteorological Authority in conjunction with UBC. Welcome to the new year of 2020. Today we have woken up with dry conditions experienced everywhere in the country. And when you take a look at the satellite picture which has been taken over Africa, it shows that the rain belt has shifted far south of our country, causing the hazy dry conditions in our country. Tomorrow in the morning, we expect a chance of rains to be around Lake Victoria. In the eastern and western sector, we expect cloudy conditions, but in the northern sector, we expect sunny conditions. In the afternoon, we expect a chance of cloud conditions in the eastern around the Lake Victoria region together with the western sector, but in the northern sector, we still expect sunny conditions. Because of this, we expect temperatures to rise up to 33 degrees Celsius in the Karamoja region. In the northern sector, we expect 31 degrees Celsius. Around Kampala, we expect 28 degrees Celsius, and in Kigezi Highlands we expect 26 degrees Celsius. Elsewhere around the globe we expect chances of cloudiness in Dubai, Johannesburg, Tokyo, London and New York. In New York City we expect temperatures to be as low as 9 degrees Celsius. Thank you for being with us. God bless you.
So we now know how to move tomorrow, where to go, how to dress wherever we'll go. Let's have a look at the headlines, and I wish you the best of the night. President Yoweri Museveni has commended Ntungamo Christians for unity. Kabale NRM delegates have endorsed Museveni's sole candidature. A man has survived lynching in Buyikwe, while Namibia is to host African Netball Championships. That has been our very first bulletin of the year 2020. We thank you so much for watching. We look forward to have you the whole of the year 2020, and not only having you, but giving you exactly what you deserve and what you need. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Muhammad Mugalu and the whole team here. We wish you the best of the year 2020. Good night.